Yes, Diane.
A friend of mine taught me a technique for dealing with, when there's an awakening experience, you become much more detached and observe you're observing, you're in awareness,
right.
You're observing the ego.
Right.
And he taught me that whenever I become aware of the ego going into reaction with another person, that here's what I do. I'll tell you what I do that works for me very well. I become aware that the ego is going into reaction. I become aware of the feelings. What are the feelings? Fear,
right?
Feeling unworthy, feeling guilty, feeling like a victim, da-da-da. Then I say, I am 100% responsible for these feelings that I am projecting onto this person or situation. This person is not to blame for my feelings. These are my feelings and I am responsible, 100% responsible. And so then
you own the projection. Yes.
I take total responsibility, and then I realize that I am one. I am one with God, or a source, or consciousness, and that we are all part of consciousness. And this person that I was having the reaction to, that we are one. We're basically one. We're part of consciousness, part of one.
Yes.
One. And by the time I get there, to that state, the reaction is completely gone.
Completely gone.
That I was aware of feeling are completely gone.
Okay. So I'm going to repeat what Diane said, because
it's a little bit more complicated.
Yes.
Right now I don't remember all the steps.
Okay. So she's saying that when she feels that her ego gets activated in conflict with someone, that what she does first is to take complete 100% responsibility for her feelings, which means that she owns her projection. Instead of blaming the other person, she says, no, these feelings are completely my responsibility. This person may have done whatever she or he wants, but the feelings are my responsibility, right? And in that way, she doesn't project the feelings on the other person, and she has an opportunity to deal with the feelings in an honest way.
Yes.
Correct. Then she goes into the realization of oneness with the other person and with the universe, so that the feeling disappears in that oneness.
Yes.
Very good.
That's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? Because if you're experiencing negative emotions, at first you say, that's not that person, it's me, it's my emotions.
But you are not. It's the ego that's experiencing the negative emotions.
The ego is a sense of
The
I.
awareness that is observing the ego experiencing the negative emotions is not experiencing negative emotions. And the negative emotions that the ego is experiencing, I mean, the ego loves to keep us in separation. The ego doesn't want us to be in oneness, and the ego has all kinds of little tricks to keep us in separation.
Right.
But as the awareness observing the ego, we can become aware of its little tricks and then not react.
Yeah.
Take responsibility, become accountable
Then-
and transmute it.
Let me comment a little
I'm
bit
not explaining
on
it very well.
a little bit on her approach, but I think that the only thing that I do different in regard to this, the first part of what she does is that in order to take responsibility, I don't take responsibility, I put it on the mind-body organism. I said, this is your problem, buddy. This is not my problem.
That's good. Yeah.
Neither is the other person's problem, it's your problem, right?
That's
So
good.
so the mind-body organism has an issue here
That's right.
and needs to be fixed, right? And then instead of going into the oneness experience that she's doing, which I think is perfectly fine, yeah, because that dissolves the problem. But here, the approach that is happening is to withdraw from the situation and to ask the question what needs to be understood here, and to open that connection, right, with source, so that the download can happen, and then to understand something that still has not been understood. Once that insight happens, quite often the problem is gone. It disappears automatically in that very moment. But if still there are remnants of that feeling, and then you ask for the removal of that material. You don't do it yourself. You just ask to the one, which is you two. You ask, please remove this from the fake self. Please remove these feelings completely. I want a blank slate. So again, you are using the law of free will to choose, right? To choose a blank slate, to choose to be free from those feelings. So anyway,
Can I just say
yes.
something? One thing really interesting that I have noticed is that whenever I ask to be shown a different way of perceiving what's going on or whatever, one thing I've noticed is that every time mind-body organism goes into reaction, whether it's feeling guilt, it's feeling like a victim, it's feeling angry, whatever it's feeling, it all stems from, this is just me, but I have noticed this, it all stems from the belief that my ego, that my body, mind-body organism has had, the belief in separation, the belief that I have been separate
Right.
from source, from
Okay.
consciousness. It all stems from that belief.
Right. So negative emotion, Diane is saying, in her case, she recognized it as coming from the false belief of separation, right? And then because she moves into no separation, and she can easily move into no separation, then that core belief is destroyed at that moment, and then the emotion is gone, right? I don't know if that will correct the problem in the mind-body organism that is triggering the negative emotion later. So let's say that the same situation happens again, but when it happens again, immediately the problem will basically not happen. The negative reaction may not happen. I don't know if, see, you are strengthening the oneness, right? The ability to go into the oneness is being strengthened, and that's very valuable.
And the dream is just becoming
Right.
more like a dream.
And the whole thing is becoming like a dream. On the other hand, I don't know if that will reprogram the mind-body organism at the level of what is it that the ego is resisting, and why is resisting the behavior of the other person. Why the organism is resisting the behavior of the other person. It may, yeah, because sometimes what happens is that you go into oneness, and then the the connection, right, with oneness now is like a super fast connection or fiber optics, and then you also receive the download too, right? You receive the download or the understanding of what is in the mind-body organism that needs to be fixed. So Evelyn is saying that the way she works with a negative emotion that arises is by, first of all, observing the negative emotion, same as Diane was explaining, same as I experienced here. But she makes a move there that is slightly different, which is that she attempts to experience compassion for the little self or the mind-body organism, right? Yeah. That is going through those feelings. And then that compassion seems to have a healing effect to begin with. Love, obviously, compassion is love, so it's healing. And then she asks the question when these feelings happened before, in the past. Yeah. And then she begins to look into the past, you know, which can go as far as her childhood, and then she does a little bit of work with that child that was hurt long ago in order to heal this dynamic. Okay. I would say that this is absolutely a valid approach. I only would recommend to anyone doing this, because I have heard this approach before, to notice that at some point in the process, when you accept the feelings, when you express compassion for the mind-body organism and the little self, you know, and so on, at some moment in that process, you will have a cognitive insight.
Yeah, of course.
You will. And although you're not asking for it, although you're not actively asking for it in the method that I am...
you get the understanding of why it happens.
Right. But in the process, there will be a cognitive element that is the insight that you're looking for, that will heal.
The decision we made very early in time, the decision we made to protect ourselves, and it's a mental decision, so that when we recognize that decision, then we don't repeat it anymore.
Yes. So, whatever works to help you to have that insight, that missing piece of information, that download that needs to come in, anything that helps you to attain that is great, right? So, now we are getting a clear understanding, because here, for what I see, there are quite a few people that are awakened and are already doing, they have found a way to do this work. These are strategies that have to do with the embodiment process after awakening, right? And then, for the path of wisdom to work effectively, you need to develop a strategy. You need to have a clear understanding on how to do this work of embodiment. So, for example, in the course in Psychology of Consciousness that I present, the focus on awakening is no more than 3 classes. There are 3 classes of about 3 hours each, and hopefully my student will be awakened after the first 3 classes. And then there are 18 more classes that we will work on embodiment. And during that time, in the sessions one-on-one and in the video classes, the student will do embodiment with this type of techniques and others in order to clean the mess that is there, the remaining mess. A part of the mess was gone with the awakening, yes. I'm aware of that, but still there is a big mess that needs to be cleaned, right? So awakening is easy it's the easy part. And that's why I tell you, go for awakening. Because it's easy, right? So don't delay it. Don't delay awakening. Go for it with all your might. So that you cross that barrier and now you can do embodiment work, which is the longest part in this path. Don't delay the awakening. And in fact, at least it's worth trying, right? I developed an awakening protocol that is a 3-hour session one-on-one to trigger the awakening. And it works pretty well. And it's just 3 hours of work. But I see many people, that they go years in this path. And it happened to me too. I went for 10 years. And I couldn't wake up. And I don't think it's necessary. Awakening is easy. So that now you can move into embodiment and you can work in your embodiment process, and is the embodiment, which is a cleansing, right, is 10 times easier than the self-development part. The self-development part is what is prior to awakening, is the work that we do from the ego in the ego, right? You go to psychotherapy, you go to a life coach, you study metaphysics, and you create your own reality and all that stuff. That is hard work. That's very hard, it's a lot of hard work. Embodiment is also easy compared with the self-development part of the path before awakening. Because before awakening, you don't have this observation of the ego. And because you don't have that observation of the ego, then it's very difficult to modify the ego. It's the ego in identification with itself, trying to heal itself, trying to change itself. It's extremely difficult. And I see people trying and trying, sometimes going to psychotherapy for years and years and years, and gaining very, very, very little. As a psychotherapist put it one time for me years ago, she said, well, in this lifetime, many people come for a whole lifetime just to learn something this small. Very small. So you don't need to be in that group. You can move fast.
People should sign up for your awakening protocol.
Well, the awakening protocol definitely can help. The course in psychology of consciousness definitely can help. The intention and reinforcing the intention, I want to wake up, definitely can help immensely, right?
Did we take that years ago?
You took the abbreviated version.
The abbreviated.
Are you awake?
Well, if there's an I, it's not awake. It's like, are you humble yet?
I